Hi, my name is Menno Meijer. I'd like to talk about peace. In Canada, we like to think ourselves as a country of peace. The Pearsonian peacekeeping model that came about in the 50s brought us as a nation close to the idea that having peace was more important than war. What we developed over the course of the years following the Pearsonian peacekeeping model with blue helmets going to stand between warring nations no longer works, because with the fall of the Cold War, we now have internal strife in countries. It's becoming difficult to deal with that for the United Nations and for other nations because we can't interfere in the internal politics of other countries, but there are people who can. Perhaps not as nations, not as warring nations. And Canada is increasingly becoming a warring nation. We are no longer a country of peacekeepers. Our military is being deployed as an aggressive force in various countries around the world. But Canadians like peace. We like the idea of being a peacekeeping country, so how can we get back to that? Right now, before the House of Commons, we have Bill C-373. It's an act to establish the Department of Peace. We need to take this very seriously, but how do we go about this? How do we understand what that means? All over the world, unarmed civilian peacekeepers are currently busy standing between aggressors, talking to aggressors. They're doing this without arms. They're doing this without uniforms. There's no guns, there's no tanks. They do it through negotiation, cooperation, and through helping civilian peacekeepers who are already in the country, natives of those countries, develop their work for peace, to aid them in getting their message out to the government. It is a highly effective method of peacekeeping. Right now, we have a ratio of 10 to 1 civilian casualties to military casualties in the world. It is the civilians who are suffering. It is no longer the militaries. We are flying drones from thousands and thousands of miles away from the safety of warm offices, blowing up targets and killing civilians. This is no way to peace. This is the way to war. This is the way to misery. I'd like to change that focus. I'd like to change that idea of what peacekeeping is. Nonviolent Peace Force tells us that with only 4 minutes of global military spending, 4 minutes, we could have a paid civilian, unarmed peacekeeping force of 2,000 people working in countries where there are conflict and helping bring that conflict to a close and finding peaceful solutions to cohabitation. These people are working all over the world. They're underfunded and they're unrecognized. And for Canadians, they would be surprised to know that we have unarmed civilian peacekeepers from other countries working in Canada on peacekeeping missions at First Nations communities to prevent the type of tragedies that happened in Oka, to prevent the type of tragedies that happened at Ipperwash, to stop death, to create peace, to create negotiations so that we can live together. My next project is going to be to document the work being done by unarmed civilian peacekeepers around the world. I need help for this. It's going to cost a fair bit of money. Initially for this year, for 7 months of shooting, I require $30,000 to do 4 stages, to go to Palestine, to go to Iraqi Kurdistan, to go to Colombia, and to go to Grassy Narrows, to document the work of these brave individuals who stand between aggressors with nothing more than the idea that peace is the way. Help me with this project. Help me create peace. Help me help Canadians understand that peace is possible. We don't have to be the aggressors. Thanks a lot.